Welcome back, PEZ collectors. Today's video is going to be all about Cool Cat PEZ. Now we're going to cover the actual Cool Cat PEZ dispensers, but there's also some other really cool cat PEZ dispensers that fall in the same category. There's 3 different characters to be exact, just so you know what to expect coming up. And since all 3 of these characters debuted back in the 1960s, they'll have kind of the same cool cat characteristics, same cool cat look and vibe to them. So I thought, why not group them all together in this video and share all the PEZ dispenser variations with you today. I'm going to also tell you a little bit about each character because I thought to myself, like, who's Cool Cat? Like, why do I really like this character? I don't know anything about it. So I did a little research on it, and now I think I like Cool Cat even more. But I thought I would share my love for these Cool Cat PEZ in this video today. So there's quite a few I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's get started. First we're going to cover Cool Cat, which is the coolest of the Cool Cat. And Cool Cat was created by Warner Brothers for the Looney Tunes series. Now, if you've been around, you should know that Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes was my first PEZ dispenser that I ever bought, and that started my collection. And I keep a bunch of the Bugs Bunnies back here. I have a pretty good selection of Bugs Bunnies and in their packages, which I think are really cool. But Cool Cat, also from Looney Tunes, is a way lesser known, less popular character from Looney Tunes, but still super cool, at least in my opinion. But then there's also the suave Pink Panther, and Pink Panther was developed by DePatie-Freleng Enterprises, also back in the 1960s, which I guess, this is when the Cool Cats developed. And then also Hanna-Barbera, they had to have their own Cool Cat of their own, so they developed Snagglepuss. And if you're wondering, there is a Snagglepuss PEZ technically because it falls under the Funko Pop PEZ category. But you can't forget about the Funko Pop PEZ because they are still PEZ dispensers. But that's the last Cool Cat we're going to be talking about in this video today. So many Cool Cats. If you're wondering like I was, why are there so many Cool Cats coming out of the 1960s? Well, I think the 1960s kind of gives that modern, cool counterculture vibe that evolved in the 1960s, and we got to see that coolness develop into, like I always say, like TV shows, movies, and of course animation, and that's where we get these Cool Cats. I did pull up a video and I watched a little bit of a Cool Cat animation, and he does seem a little bit more laid back. He was being hunted and he didn't seem too concerned about it. It always seems like the Looney Tunes cartoons or animations that I remember from like being a kid, it was always like, like the animals being hunted. I guess that's a lot of themes in like 80s cartoons as well. It just seems like Cool Cat was just kind of like, I'm not gonna get caught, it's fine, it's fine. I don't know, maybe his coolness made him more confident, and I think the animation was a little bit more like laid back versus if you watch like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, it's a little bit more frenetic and a little bit more chaotic, I think, in my opinion. So at least that's what I got from watching this Cool Cat animation. And we also have the Pink Panther, and he appeared in the 1963 film The Pink Panther. He's also known for his mysterious charm and his silent cool. I think the Pink Panther, he turned out to be even more iconic. But I think most people my age, or even 20 years older than me or so, are gonna look at a Pink Panther, might not be the Pink Panther, but a Pink Panther, and go, oh yeah, that's the iconic Pink Panther, because he is so well known, unlike the actual Cool Cat from the Looney Tunes series. And then eventually the Pink Panther, he got his own animated series because that movie was so popular. And then the last one I want to share with you is Snagglepuss, and he's more known for his like flamboyant character, and he also comes into the scene in 1960s, so he's got that Cool Cat vibe and personality as well. Just seems like, like Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes. They were some of the top animation companies back in the 1960s, so it's not surprising that, you know, they both had Cool Cats of their own. If you are wondering, like I am, which Cool Cat came first, Snagglepuss debuted first. First appeared in Quick Draw McGraw's animated series, and then they brought him back to the Yogi Bear show in 1961. So we got to see a little bit of Snagglepuss in both areas. And then we got the Pink Panther, which, like I said, he debuted in the film in 1963, but then just a year later, he got his own series. So maybe they were working on it. Maybe it just was like, oh gosh, we need more Pink Panther, and they made the animated series really fast. I don't know. It seems to me they were probably working on it because they knew Panther was going to be a hit. And then we got Cool Cat in 1967, and like I said, Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is still around today. It still creates a lot of content for us to watch, which is crazy. So if you are into these retro animated series like I am, or you just want to see some more Cool Cats, get some of those Cool Cat vibes for yourself, then let's go check out the PEZ. I did leave them here in the studio. We're gonna go down to the main display and get the other ones that we need. I thought we'd go collect them together. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. So let's go grab all the PEZ and I'll show you them up close. And I'll tell you a little bit more about each one as well. Here's my desk, but here behind me in my studio, that's where I currently keep all the Cool Cats. They used to sit down here on the shelf here for a while, but since I got this really cool one, which I'll tell you more about here in a second, I added them to the shelf up here. And as you can see, I do have a couple different variations as well. Let's put these on the table. Come back to those. There are some other Cool Cats. There's Cat with Derby, but he's not a licensed character. More of those back here in the back, which maybe I'll make another video. If you comment down below if you want to see Cat with Derby PEZ variation video here on the channel, I can make that. And before we do go down to the main display, here's all my Bugs Bunny ones that I was pointing to earlier. The top 3 rows are mostly Bugs Bunny PEZ. All those ones in the back there are in their packages still. I also have this really cool PEZ display here with Bugs Bunny in it, but there's no Cool Cats. It'd be really cool to get an actual Cool Cat in the cello, but so far I have never found one. Also have a bunch of no-foot Bugs Bunny and Polly bags up here in that box. Okay, let's go down to the main display. Okay, here's the main display here, and we're gonna look for Pink Panther. Here we go, right here already. So there's Pink Panther here, so let me grab these. And do you want to see the rest of the Pink Panther series? I can grab those as well. I can show you those real quick. Okay, why did I not bring a box? Go grab something. Got this little Animal Crossing box here. And then, let's see, over here is my Pop PEZ display. And like I said, Snagglepuss is a Pop PEZ dispenser, so let me find it. Here we go, and there's Snagglepuss. There's actually a lot of other Hanna-Barbera PEZ I wasn't gonna show you individually in the video here, but you can see like there's Secret Squirrel, Wily Gator, Huckleberry Hound, 2 Yogi Bears, Morocco Mole, the Snagglepuss. I'm gonna grab him out of here. And the Great Grape Ape, I guess because he's purple. But there's also like, oh, what's the dog? There's a dog, it's like Wacky Racers. What's the dog's name? There's Touche Turtle, Breezely and Sneezely. One of these is Breezely, one of them is Sneezely, and I can never remember. Then there's Lippy the Lion. I think that might be all the Hanna-Barbera. I do have more Huckleberry Hound ones up on the main display, but a bunch of different color variations on those. Oh, see, I need to organize them a little better because I'm looking over here. There's Ricochet Rabbit, there's Adam Ant over here. So just looking to make sure I didn't miss any Hanna-Barbera ones. Probably give you a good idea on them. If you want me to make a Hanna-Barbera Funko Pop PEZ video, let me know. I can make one and show them up close. Okay, let me grab this one out. I need to put the camera down because it's a little bit of a pain to get these out. Hey Roxy. Roxy came down. I also wanted to point out, what do you think, Roxy? That Felix the cat could technically be a cool cat as well. So there's the Funko Pop PEZ of Felix the cat. Uh-oh, they're falling out. There's no back on these shadow boxes. They kind of just float there on the wall because they don't actually fit in these, but it works. Let me see. I'm gonna have to bring these back down soon after filming and put it back up so these don't fall off. Real quick before we go back up to the studio. Oh my gosh, can I get up there? I do have, I need my step stool. But I do have a Snagglepuss here open. But I also have a bunch of these Huckleberry Hounds in the different colors. Yeah, let's take these back up to the studio and I'll show you them up close and tell you a little bit more about them even. Since Cool Cat gave me the idea to make this video, let's start with the Cool Cat PEZ dispensers. Here's the first Cool Cat PEZ I want to share with you here. A Cool Cat, it wasn't released until 1980 as a PEZ dispenser. This one has no feet. Most of my Cool Cats, they have orange heads, blue snouts, and they're all green stems, but I will say that each head variation that I have in my collection, they're all slightly different, and then plus the green stems are slightly different as well, which once I show these to you side by side, maybe you'll see the difference. Some are ever so slightly different, but they're enough that I collect them and I keep them in my collection. So we have this one. I do not have shoes on these, so hopefully I don't knock them over. I keep them in this little stand so I don't put actual shoes on them. And here's another Cool Cat PEZ dispenser that I have here in my collection. Also has the orange head, the light blue snout, and a green stem. And then one more, also orange head, light blue snout, a darker green stem. Can you tell the difference yet? Wait till I show them to you side by side here. You'll be like, oh yeah, those are different. Aaron's not just telling me stuff. There's also this Cool Cat in my collection. Same orange head, light blue snout, a green stem, but this one has thin feet on the bottom there. See how it has little feet? So this one should not fall over as easily. And then before I move on to that really crazy like purple pink colored one I do have one more green stem one. And I pointed out that is green stem. This one is actually made out of the Durapel plastic. I don't have many of these in my collection, but I have a couple, and these are like the coolest plastic stems that exist. PEZ was testing out this plastic called Durapel plastic. It's very see-through. You can see the spring in there, but they found that it was too weak of a plastic to use for PEZ dispensers. I guess it would break really easy. I don't even like messing with these too much. But this one has a clear sleeve. A lot of times the Durapel ones, they have the same color sleeve as the stem, and they're so cool. But when this came up for sale, I was like, I have to have this for the collection. This Durapel Cool Cat is more of a rarity. I don't know how many of these exist. If anyone has one of these, let me know in the comments. But these for sure are ones you should be able to find pretty easy. But here you go. These are all the orange head Cool Cats with the light blue snouts. And then the different green color variations for the stems, which I think these all look super nice. They're not like huge variations, but once you have them lined up here, you can see some of the heads are a little darker. Some of the stems are lighter or darker green. I mean, obviously the Durapel stem is more of a bright yellow, but maybe a light green, bright yellow. I don't even know how to... Maybe it's like a neon yellow. It looks green some ways you flip it because it's kind of see-through. And then plus it's sitting next to these, so it kind of gives it that green look too. And if you ever wonder like what is this really bright orange PEZ that's just on my shelf, that's also a Durapel one. You can see how they kind of glow. That's why I like them a lot. They're real colorful, real vibrant. And then my most favorite Cool Cat in the collection, I mean, besides this this one's really cool too. But maybe my most favorite, newest Cool Cat. One of my top, this has to be in my top 10 favorite PEZ in the collection. I mean, I really just love the Cool Cat PEZ, but this one, I mean, check it out. Collectors call this the all pink Cool Cat PEZ. Still has that light blue snout, but the stem matches the head like perfectly. I mean, isn't that cool? It's super weird because if you look at this, you kind of go, is that Pink Panther? Like, what was PEZ thinking when they made this? But it's not unusual that they would have made weird colored PEZ, especially the animals, you know, back when they were making the no feet PEZ, because I have lots of them. Like I just showed you like those cat with derbies. There's lots of weird color variations on those. If you ever watch my videos, like there's tons of cockatoos. Just trying to think of ones that are up here. And pony go-arounds. I have like that really light pink pony go-around with the blue eyes. And then I don't know, like the Roar of the Lions that you keep seeing in the videos as well. Those have fun color variations. A lot that I don't even have here in the collection. But it's not unusual for PEZ to make weird color variations for the PEZ. I think that's really cool about these vintage PEZ. Oh, and cows. You've seen lots of colored cows here on the channel too. But let's look at this. This pink one is on 2.6 made in Austria stem. And this pink one, it does have the copyright 1980 Warner Brothers on the back of the ears here like the other ones do. So it's not one of those PEZ where PEZ just didn't put the copyright on it and they kept making the PEZ. And then they were like, oh, we can't use the Cool Cat colors, we have to use pink. So I don't know. Does anyone know why Cool Cat turned pink? These are all my Cool Cat PEZ in the collection here. There is one more Cool Cat in John Laspina's PEZ guide. And it says that it has like a thin snout, I think. I don't know if it's the whole face. I can't remember if I've ever seen a picture. It'd be super, super rare. Like I don't even know anybody who has one. There's probably like maybe a couple, maybe they were a test piece or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't make many of them because they didn't like get approved or something by Warner Brothers. But I don't know the whole story there. But for some reason there's Cool Cats with a thinner face and it's in the price guide. It's a lot more. Maybe someday I'll have one in my collection. But I also think it'd be really cool if I could find a Cool Cat, you know, still on the card or in the cello. Those could be some Holy Grail pieces that I look forward to add to the collection here over the next few years. I have seen this Cool Cat here on one of those shorter square vintage cards. I have yet to see one for sale. So I know they exist. And like I said, I keep my Cool Cat on this little orange. This is like a 3D printed. It's a replica of an actual PEZ display that I do not own, but these are a lot cheaper. And I keep the PEZ girl in there, so if you ever watch my videos, I always say like, this is me, I'm the PEZ girl. Then I keep all my Cool Cat PEZ in here, and so it's like me and the Cool Cats. I'm weird, but you know. But this one, and I'll keep this one in here. This one is a little too valuable just to jam, I think, in this display. But I also, you know, I think it's cool. Keep it out, and then the thin foot one you can't put in the display. But I do have a spot for one more no-foot Cool Cat, so maybe eventually I'll add another one to the collection. These don't really come up for sale that often. It's kind of funny because maybe a year or two ago, I was like, I know I have a Cool Cat in the collection. Like, why can I not find one in the collection? Like, I look, you know, looking all over, looking in the main display. I'm like looking in my bins. I'm like, I know I have a Cool Cat. Well, I must not have ever bought it. I must have just remembered myself like shopping for a Cool Cat during one of the St. Louis PEZ conventions, and I never added one to the collection. So these last couple years has been a lot of fun finding these for sale and buying them. And they don't pop up too often for sale, which I think makes them even a little bit more fun to hunt for. But they're out there. You just have to look for them and maybe ask some other collectors if they have one for sale. Super cool. Some of my favorite PEZ in the collection for sure. Let's move up to 1997, and that's when PEZ released this Pink Panther PEZ dispenser. This one has the bright pink face, the neon pink stem, it's got yellow eyes, a white snout there. I point out those because you'll see another variation on this Pink Panther really soon as well. This one is like the iconic, I think, Pink Panther colors. Looks normal to me. Don't question it at all. Which I think is really cool. So this Pink Panther set, like I said, was released back in the late 90s, and these remind me so much of like going to the St. Louis PEZ convention and shopping for these and adding these PEZ. These are PEZ International releases only, so PEZ USA did not sell these. That's why like on the bottom of the stems you will not see the made in country down there. It just has the 4.9 US patent on it. Since they weren't sold in the United States, they didn't have to have the made in country on it. There you go. Is this the Pink Panther? Is that a Cool Cat? I don't know. Love it though. It's so cool. And in the animated series with Cool Cat, he wears like a little, I think it's a beret, and he's got stripes. He looks a lot different than the actual PEZ dispenser, which I don't know why they didn't incorporate any of those looks into the dispenser, but maybe Cool Cat changed over time. I'm not a Cool Cat expert in the character design department, but still looks like Cool Cat. But I think he could be a little bit cooler. Who knows, if maybe if PEZ, they can do like a throwback Looney Tunes series and they could add Cool Cat to it. I would buy that. Also in the 1997 Pink Panther series, there's Inspector Clouseau. So this one's Inspector Clouseau's head for the head. He's wearing a little brown hat. He's got his little like trench coat pulled up around his chin there. He's got a funny smirk on his face. Like, or wait, is that his mustache? Maybe that's his mustache. And then he's on a really bright neon yellow stem. And these neon colors, this is what PEZ International made in the 90s. If you ever wonder, you know, if a PEZ is a PEZ International versus PEZ USA release, if it's on a neon stem, there's a 99% chance that it was a PEZ International release. There's also the ant from the same Pink Panther series, and I always thought this one was kind of funny looking, but also really cool because it has these little, I don't know what you call these, like little antlers, whatever ants have on the top of their head, but they're like soft movable plastic, which I think is really cool. But this ant dispenser is the ant's head for the head, which is mostly a really nice orange, and then the stem is green. It just, the green and the orange on that looks so nice. This one I think is probably not neon green, but it's still pretty bright. It's almost the same green and orange as the Cool Cat. It's pretty crazy. And then there's the aardvark, and I guess the aardvark eats the ants? I don't know. But this aardvark PEZ dispensers, aardvark's head for the head, and this one's always really funny because it has this really long snout and it hangs over the stem there in a weirdly long way, which like no other heads look like that for a PEZ dispenser, especially in the front. It looks cool. But this one is on a neon orange stem, which the colors on these look really great. I really like these Pink Panther PEZ. I always think like if you are a new collector, you don't have a lot of money to spend on PEZ, you know, adding these Pink Panther PEZ to your collection would be a really fun addition because, you know, it's not something you can buy here in the United States. Gives it that cool aspect, I think. And then also the real colorful, the character designs on them are really nice. And if you show people your PEZ collection, most people, if you're my age or older, maybe not really young kids, I don't know. They might not know who Pink Panther is, but people my age or older, or maybe a little bit younger than me even, will know who Pink Panther is, and they'll be like, okay, those are cool. Or if you want to convince your mom to buy these for you, just be like, hey, I need these Pink Panther PEZ, and then she'll probably be like, Pink Panther, that's cool. I'll buy those for you. And then also, PEZ released this Pink Panther PEZ back in 2002, and this is the really weird color Pink Panther. It kind of has like a pastel look to it. Let me just hold up the first Pink Panther I shared with you. There you go. You see how the pinks are different? Like the eyes are different, stems are different. The snout is like a light pink on this new one, and it just looks different. The head of the Pink Panther I think are really similar, if not identical, but it's like the eyes, the snout, and the stem, and the little like eyebrows on top. They're different. So they're different colors. They're like more pastel. Like, why does this exist? Like, why? I always wonder to myself, like, this looks really weird. Why did PEZ make this? Well, I googled 2002 Pink Panther and I found this game, Pink Panther Pinkadelic Pursuit, and look at that. Pink Panther looks more like this one than this one in the game, so I'm thinking that they made this to coincide with the release of the game. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But it does look like a fun video game. Has anyone ever played Pinkadelic Pursuit, the Pink Panther video game? Let me know in the comments. And then moving up to 2018, that's when we get the Hanna-Barbera Snagglepuss. This is a Funko Pop PEZ, that's why they're packaged in these little boxes. So these were a collaboration between Funko and PEZ, which are two really great pop culture companies. And I'm not 100% sure why PEZ had to collaborate with Funko, but one of the Funko CEOs, Brian Mariotti, he used to collect PEZ, and he used to spend a lot of money on his PEZ collection. I think he's since sold them all, but he had a really good PEZ collection at some time. I don't know, within the past 10 years, he's had a really good PEZ collection. There's videos of him speaking, and his PEZ dispensers are in the back. Probably at the Funko headquarters, I don't know, but for some reason they collaborated. Maybe because Brian liked PEZ, they was like, we need to make PEZ with PEZ. I don't know. I like that idea. But they have since stopped. I don't know if there's any talks to make any more Funko Pop PEZ in the future, but we recently got a couple sets of them. But we got the like Five Nights at Freddy's Christmas ones, and we got the Office Christmas ones. I think those were some of the last sets that we got. I think it might have been 2023 now that I'm thinking about it. Has it been that long? There's videos of all those Funko Pop PEZ here on the channel. We haven't gotten anything new lately, and I don't know if there's anything in the works for this year, so maybe that collaboration is over. But Snagglepuss, I do have one open. I don't have many Funko Pop PEZ that I keep on the shelf, but for some reason I think I accidentally just had two Snagglepuss PEZ, so I ended up opening this one. And I mean, it kind of looks like Pink Panther again, doesn't it? And then grab Cool Cat. I mean, all pink, all cats, all with cool personalities. This Snagglepuss Funko Pop PEZ, you see how the head's a little bit larger on these Funko Pop PEZ? That's usually the characteristic of these. And they have that Funko style as well, especially you can tell they're Funkos from their eyes, because Funko usually uses like the large circle eyes in most of their Funko Pops. So Snagglepuss has his head for the head, which is mostly pink. The snout is a little cream color with a white collar around it. It's on a really light pink PEZ stem, which looks really nice. And if you ever do wonder, these seem to be made out of the same plastic that an actual PEZ dispenser is made out of, and they have the same stems. A lot of collectors keep these separate from their actual PEZ dispensers just because like the heads are so much larger on them. They just don't look the same on the shelves, but I just keep them separate because I like to keep them in the box. I think that's the coolest part about these, that they come in these little boxes. Don't forget, I'm a graphic designer. I appreciate the packaging that goes into all these PEZ and other collectibles and stuff like that. So I'm usually an inbox collector when I can, but I do have this one outside, so I thought that was pretty cool. Let's put all these here. This will give you an idea, and maybe grab, like, you see how the head sizes keep getting bigger and bigger. A lot of the vintage PEZ, their heads were proportionate to the stems, I always say, and then over the years they kind of get a little larger. And then these Funko Pop PEZ, their heads are pretty large for like the stem size. I still think it looks really great though. I like these a lot. Well, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have to say that. And did you like my little deep dive, or a little bit deeper dive into some of the animation aspects on these characters? Sometimes I just wonder, and I'm like, I can't be the only one that wonders, like, who the heck is this Cool Cat character? So I thought it'd be fun to research it and share here on the video with you. So if you like that, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I could add a little bit more of that into my videos. I have done it in the past, but you know, I don't tend to talk about some of the characters so much. And thanks for watching. Stay cool. I'll see everybody Thursday. Bye.
I write to you in poetry with words left on the shelf. Full of dust, you'll know it's me, and from nobody else.